From the dawn of humanity to the empires of tomorrow, this is Timeline Voyage. 5,000 years ago, the sun rises on a different world. Humanity stands at a turning point. Rivers and fertile soil pull people into tight clusters, and from those clusters, cities are born. Our journey begins in southern Mesopotamia in the city of Uruk. Here, the seasonal floods of the Tigris and Euphrates yield more grain than the people can eat. The surplus is stored in massive temple granaries. This extra food frees some hands from the fields, and those hands turn to craft. Uruk swells into the world's first true metropolis. Streets echo with traders calling out their wares. Workshops hum with the shaping of pottery, the weaving of textiles, and the ringing of bronze tools. In the temple precincts, priests and officials press reed styluses into wet clay, turning tallies of grain into the earliest cuneiform script. At first, these marks are mere accounting, but they grow into a writing system that records laws, contracts, and myths. Bureaucracy has been born. In the heart of the city rises the step bulk of a ziggurat, part temple, part political statement. It is a mountain of mud brick dressed in fired brick. Its ramps climb towards a shrine where priests mediate between gods and humans, and where the city's leaders direct the flow of labor, grain, and worship. To the west, the Nile's rhythm beats steady and sure. In Egypt's Old Kingdom, the annual flood is so predictable that farmers can plan their planting to the day. Freed from uncertainty, the kings, the pharaohs, command thousands to raise stone monuments to the sky. Around 2630 BCE, Pharaoh Djoser commissions the step pyramid at Saqqara, the world's first monumental stone building. Designed as a staircase to the heavens, it is both tomb and eternal proclamation of royal power. Eastward again, in the Indus Basin, lie the cities of Harappa and Mohenjo-Daro, urban wonders that rival Mesopotamia and Egypt. Their streets follow a precise grid. Homes are built from standardized baked bricks. Covered drains carry waste away. Public baths offer places for ritual cleansing. Tiny carved seals, often bearing animals in a mysterious script, act as identity markers for merchants and goods. Their writing remains undeciphered, but their engineering speaks volumes. Farther east, along the Yellow River, the Longshan culture thrives. Villages here are encircled by high-rammed earth walls. Some sites boast solar observatories aligned to track the solstices, marking the seasons for planting and harvest. Potters spin thin-walled black vessels on fast wheels, and early bronze objects glint in the light. Seeds of a metal revolution yet to come. Across the Aegean Sea, fortified settlements rise on rocky promontories. The Cycladic Islands become hubs for the exchange of obsidian, marble, and copper. Islanders carve sleek marble figurines and sail slender boats along emerging sea lanes. Trade in copper and the elusive tin needed for bronze begins to link mountains, islands, and distant shores. To the northwest, on the plains of Britain, a circle of earth and timber will one day become Stonehenge. Around 3000 BCE, its first stage is built, a circular ditch and bank enclosing burial mounds. Centuries later, massive sarsen stones are dragged from miles away and set to frame the midsummer sunrise. A monumental calendar of stone. Even across the oceans, in what is now Peru, the Norte Chico, or Caral Supe culture, builds platform mounds in sunken plazas. Without the wheel, without pottery for storage, they still raise monumental architecture and organize large populations. Proof that complexity can emerge independently. And in Africa, farmers domesticate millet, rice, and sorghum. Herders in the savannas shape distinctive pottery and stone bowls. Early metallurgy flickers to life in West Africa. Copper smelted from ore, centuries before iron will follow. As the centuries pass, these young cities grow bold. Surplus and skill fuel ambition. And now, for the first time, a single ruler's commands can reach far beyond the horizon. In Mesopotamia, the city-states that once rivaled each other are united under a man named Sargon of Akkad. Around 2334 BCE, Sargon's armies conquer Uruk, and Lagash, forging the world's first empire. Cuneiform becomes the language of orders and diplomacy, carrying messages across hundreds of kilometers. Akkadian merchants push into Anatolia for silver and into the mountains of Afghanistan for the precious tin that will make their bronze weapons superior. Egypt, meanwhile, enters the age of the Great Pyramids. Pharaoh Khufu commands the building of the Great Pyramid at Giza, 146 meters of perfectly set limestone aligned to the cardinal points. Tens of thousands of laborers, supplied with bread and beer, transform the plateau into a symbol that will endure for millennia. The Indus Valley is at its peak. Mohenjo-Daro's Great Bath gleams with baked brick, bitumen ceiling, and precision drains. A marvel of public architecture, the city's warehouses brim with grain, while uniform weights and measures keep commerce fair. Indus seals travel with merchants as far as Mesopotamia, carrying their undeciphered script abroad. In China, the Longshan culture advances toward statehood. Observatories like those at Taosi help regulate agricultural life. Fortifications hint at conflict and hierarchy. Bronze casting begins to appear, alongside early signs of a writing tradition. Across the Aegean, the Cycladic islanders maintain their trade web, while in Crete, small communities are evolving into the centers that will, by 2000 BCE, blossom into the Minoan palaces. The islands are alive with exchange, metals, pottery, and ideas crossing the wine-dark sea. Stonehenge sees its great stones raised into their final form. The midsummer sun rises precisely between two uprights, flooding the altar stone with light. Across Europe, other megaliths, passage tombs, dolmens, alignments, knit together communities through shared rituals. In the Andes, the cities of Norte Chico expand, their monumental core surrounded by farming villages and fishing communities. Cotton from inland fields becomes fishing nets for coastal harvests, linking mountain and sea in a single economy. Technological revolutions spread. The wheel, once a potter's tool, now carries goods in carts along dusty tracks. Bronze, harder and more durable than copper, becomes the metal of choice for weapons and tools. The hunt for tin drives trade routes deep into foreign lands. Daily life hums with craft. Potters firing kilns, weavers working looms, brewers fermenting beer. Men and women share the work of fields, workshops, and festivals. Children learn their parents' trades while stories and songs carry myths that bind the community. But the old orders do not last forever. By the late 3rd millennium, fragility begins to show. The Akkadian Empire, stretched thin, faces disaster. A long drought weakens harvests. Nomadic Gutians sweep in from the east. By around 2218 BCE, Akkad collapses. In the south, the city of Ur rises again under the 3rd dynasty of Ur, its rulers codifying laws and raising the magnificent Ziggurat of Ur, a mountain of mud brick faced with glazed tiles, gleaming under the sun. Egypt's Old Kingdom, too, stumbles into its first intermediate period. Low Nile floods bring famine. Regional governors, the nomarchs, assert independence. Yet from this fragmentation, the Middle Kingdom will emerge, shifting focus from pyramid building to more modest rock-cut tombs. In the Indus Valley, signs of decline appear. Rivers change course, canals silt up, and the great cities empty. Populations disperse into smaller villages. The script falls silent. The once thriving trade with Mesopotamia dwindles. Meanwhile, on Crete, the first Minoan palaces rise at Knossos, Phaistos, Malea, and Zakros. These sprawling complexes are not just royal residences. They are economic, political, and religious centers, with storerooms, workshops, and courtyards for gatherings. Frescoes depict athletic youths leaping over bulls, storerooms brim with oil and grain, and an undeciphered script, lineare, records the palace's business. In the Cyclades and on the Greek mainland, the early Helladic culture builds fortified towns, some with council houses and communal granaries. Trade continues across the Aegean, carrying metals, wine, and olive oil. Northwest at the mouth of the Dardanelles, Troy commands the passage between the Aegean and the Black Sea. The settlement grows from a modest walled town into a wealthy trade hub, its treasures of gold and silver hinting at connections stretching far inland. In the Andes, Norte Chico's urban experiment winds down. Climate shifts and social pressures lead to the abandonment of its plazas and pyramids. Yet its legacy, monumental building, organized labor, and complex trade, will echo in later Andean civilizations. By the dawn of 2000 BCE, the world is no longer a patchwork of isolated villages. It is a tapestry of cities, kingdoms, and networks, each with its own rulers and ambitions, yet all bound by the same human drive to build, trade, and tell stories. Stone and bronze reshape the land, sails and caravans knit continents together, and the first great experiments in government and culture take root. But these achievements are only the beginning. Beyond the horizon lie new empires, new weapons, and new ideas that will ignite the next age. The story of civilization is just getting started. This was Timeline Voyage, charting humanity's epic journey, one chapter at a time. Because to understand the future, we must first travel the past. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed our journey through time, please like the video and subscribe to the channel.